Now, if you're wondering why I opened today's video with a slightly edited segment from Down in Flames by Blue Stally, well that's because those brief lyrics perfectly depict the subject of today's video involving everyone's favorite lolly twink, Rev Soy's Desu. Long story short, Rev attacked a smaller VTuber by the name of Lala for stating on Twitter, "Fuck ICE," which is a perfectly reasonable thing to say after recent events in Minneapolis, which in turn spectacularly backfired in his face and led to him receiving a bunch of backlash, and rightfully so. Anyways, this video is mostly going to be me reading out tweets along with some funny meme clips and a little commentary sprinkled out here and there. Given that most of this drama happened on Twitter and Rev didn't make a video regarding the situation. So yeah, for my haters who don't like my funny voice changer, this is your warning to click off the video and leave a dislike. The rest of you though, stick around if you like seeing Rev getting torn a new asshole by the internet.
LARP says a 1950 VTuber hates current federal agency that is more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. LARP replies, all you want. I think you're fully aware of your hypocrisy and baseless virtue signaling.
Are you fucking retarded?
Calling ICE tamed the day after they executed an innocent ICU nurse sure is something. You are such a violent person. You like calling others this but take nothing seriously, and even the NRA is appalled by you people and this administration flat out lying about an American. This doesn't bother you? At all? Man, you LARP as an anime girl and then shame people's choices with your religion. A religion which is against men dressing up as girls. The weight of your hypocrisy is not even measurable on a scale. Practice what you preach or stop shitting on the podium. You can't acknowledge people voicing different opinions as anything but virtue signaling, and you aren't man enough to look at your followers calling people slurs without trying to flip the script. You made this personal, own it like an adult, you gormless twit. Unblocking you just to say that you're a shit stain of a human being, and that nobody with more than 3 functioning brain cells actually likes you. Please go back to jerking off to completely legal anime women online. At least then you only harm yourself instead of completely innocent people. This is a pretty dumb take. What happened to fiction isn't an endorsement for IRL actions. Acting and roleplay isn't real, homie.
Okay, I'd actually like to add on to this one real quick. But isn't it funny that a 32-year-old male Christian lolly VTuber is out here calling other people LARPers when he himself is LARPing as an underage anime girl? Just because people like the aesthetics of the 1950s doesn't mean that they agree with the politics and the social norms of the time. You know, things like slavery, women and minority groups not having equal rights, the Klan rallies, etc. But hey, guess that says more about you and what you think made 1950s America great.
Round up all those dirty niggas! Okay, you'll need to chill!
Hypocrisy and baseless virtue signaling, as if a VTuber with a medieval theme must support hanging or they're a LARPer, lol. Also, posting this after a man was shot dead by ICE after being disarmed is definitely a choice. If you want to have a conversation about my actions, then come to me and let's have a conversation. My post wasn't directed towards you, and I don't know what I have personally done to you to warrant a targeted reaction about me to your community, to the point that I'm receiving slurs from your community members. Ephesians 4:32, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. You're a man of faith, correct? You don't have to like my opinions, Rev, but you also don't have to antagonize your community against me.
He keeps kicking me in the dick! Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
Your conversation was saying, fuck ICE, and now you're trying to weaponize my faith against me, poorly. Romans 13:1-7, that everyone be subject to the governing authority, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. You made a public post and people disagreed with you. You tell people to have a conversation, but immediately lock your replies when faced with criticism. Pointing out hypocrisy isn't unkind. I'm not antagonizing my community against you. If you want to play that game, just look at the replies from your own supporters towards me. You made an obnoxious virtue signaling post with no depth whatsoever. You got backlash. If you don't like that, then maybe don't dive into these topics publicly.
First off, Rev, I don't see you being open to having any conversations with people who heavily disagree with you. Because if you did, you wouldn't be afraid to openly debate people like myself who heavily disagree with you live on stream. Second, most people who were going after you weren't supporters and fans of Lala. They were mostly critics of yours and people who simply don't like you, which these days is a lot of people. Third, God forbids anyone calls you out on your hypocrisies and lies. Otherwise, they're just obsessed stalkers who are trying to cancel you. And finally, here's a Bible verse specifically for people like yourself who love using their faith as a shield to excuse their shitty behavior.
Matthew 7:21-23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and do many mighty works in your name? And then will I declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.
You should be less concerned about me and more concerned about Judgment Day.
If you really are a Christian, Rev, which at this point I highly doubt that you are, you ain't getting anywhere close to heaven. Anyways, that mostly covers the responses dunking on Soy Desu. However, there were a few more interactions regarding the situation that caught my attention, which I'd like to briefly go over. So yeah, let's do that real quick, shall we?
It's kinda hard to have a conversation when you just say fuck ice and lock your replies, just saying. But at the end of the day, this is a public platform. Nobody is antagonizing their communities to you. Also, quoting scripture to be kind and forgiving when your original post was what it was is kind of ironic. When you start out hostile, you should expect responses that are not exactly super sweetly typed out. Maybe your original post should have had more depth if a good conversation was what you were wanting.
Stop it! Cut it out! I have a glandular problem!
What? Did you really think that Rev's fat hog of a wife wouldn't come to bat for him on this one? Now I could go over just how dumb this defense is, but I'll let Nirlana's response to Straub do the talking here.
You should expect comments that are not so sweetly typed out, and it's slurs and threats.
I was referring to Rev's post, not those types of comments. Although I have the same type of things in my comments all the time, unfortunately. Obviously don't support it. But also we can't control other people and their actions. Just like you all can't.
You can't control what people say on the internet, but I haven't seen Rev condemn any of the behavior his community is perpetuating thus far. He took a post, which wasn't directed at him whatsoever, and chose to make a flimsy call-out because the organization murdering civilians are being criticized. Being a 1950s-themed Vtuber does not mean Lala has to tolerate or align with his ideologies. And she's very valid in closing her comments when this is the community he's fostered and the deplorable behavior they perpetuate.
Thank you!
Now can you guess what Straub did immediately after this response from Nirlana?
Let me see if Straub will respond to what I consider a reasonable criticism. Oh.
To absolutely nobody's surprise from a cry-bully bitch like Soylent Straub. Now get on my level, Nirlana, and get blocked by her dumbass husband next, lol. Anyways, back on topic. Rev knows damn well what type of audience he has, and knows that by making inflammatory posts like this will lead to his sycophants attacking and harassing the people he paints a target on. All while pretending that he doesn't endorse targeted harassment, or that no such thing is happening, or that he's merely criticizing people. But the moment he faces any semblance of pushback, then woe is me, I'm getting cancelled and people are trying to ruin me. Fuck off, bitch. Which is exactly what he did in this next interaction with drumroll.
Having a disagreement on Twitter is not worth uninvolved people trying to struggle session a sponsor into dropping a creator. If we play by the logic of Rev sent his community to say mean words in Lala's replies, which he didn't do. Then Lala sent her community to financially ruin Rev by threatening his sponsor also is in play, which I don't think she did, and the latter looks far worse. Attempting to throw weight in order to strike fear into companies to bend the knee to you is shit cunt behavior. Do not negotiate with these kinds of people. Support companies who stand by their creators, especially in the face of these kinds of tactics. I'll put Rev and Strab's stuff below.
Cut it out! I'm just trying to leave. No one taught me about carbs.
Yet you fucking losers are perfectly fine with partaking in cancel culture and life ruination campaigns when it's against people who said mean things about Charlie Kirk's death. Meanwhile, ICE is killing people in cold blood on the streets, and you morons are out here trying to justify or sane-wash these murders. So tell me, how is what you're doing with Renee Good and Alex Pretty any different from what people did with Charlie Kirk? And why shouldn't people go after your sources of income? Either the rules of cancel culture are applied equally across the board, or it doesn't fucking exist. Because at what point is it cancel culture, and at what point is it holding people accountable for their actions?
Thank you for the support, Kershey. When people can't win in the marketplace of ideas, they try to ruin you financially. Sad reality, but it is what it is.
Do you like having autism?
Bro, shut the fuck up. You ain't winning in the marketplace of ideas, buddy. Far from it. Which is why Advanced GG has officially terminated their partnership with you and your stupid ass wife, and rightfully so. The constant vitriol and hate you spread on a daily basis is unacceptable and isn't welcome in the marketplace of ideas. Hopefully this will finally serve as the wake-up call you desperately need. But knowing you, Rev, you'll probably double down and play victim as you usually do. So I'm not holding my breath. As per usual, go check out my light novel series if you want to support me. With that said, later and fuck ICE.
Wow. I can't believe every single one of them kicked you in the dick.